The first big item on lawmakers' agenda this session, clarifying a new state law about when and how school resource officers can use force.
Rob Olson is at the Capitol where a hearing on this new measure took place this afternoon. So, Rob, what exactly is in this proposal?
Well, it really changes some of the language from last year's law, the bill that was passed into law last year about the use of especially prone restraints. That hearing underway right now that began at 4 o'clock in the Education Policy Committee of the House. Some of the initial testifiers here are opposed to changing what was put in the books last year, saying that they do not want to loosen the restrictions on the use of prone restraints on students. But a number of lawmakers from both sides of the aisle here, along with educators and law enforcement, do want to make clarifications to get more school resource officers back into schools, and they want to do it as quickly as possible.
As soon as the Minnesota House gavelled in, came a move by Republicans to pass a new school resource officer bill right then and there.
We know that all schools that choose to have school resource officers should have them back in their schools immediately.
But the motion for an urgency declaration, which would have brought the bill to a floor vote without hearings,
the motion does not prevail,
was voted down.
So we should not bypass that process. The complaint was we bypassed that process before. We should not do it now. Thank you.
But both parties in both House and Senate agree that clarity for school resource officers is a high priority after a law change last session that tightened the rules on when students can be restrained, led many departments to pull officers from schools.
We want it to be bipartisan. We truly do. This is not Republicans versus Democrat when it comes to the safety of our kids.
The bills in the House and the Senate would separate officers from school district employees, meaning officers would have more leeway on restraints, would clarify other language in the new law using feedback from law enforcement and districts, and establish training requirements. In the House, the bill is going through 3 committees in the first 3 days.
and it will be on the floor early next week to provide the clarity that people are asking for.
On the Senate side, it's not far behind.
I would expect in the next 2 to 3 weeks we should take up on the floor.
Yeah, so again, that committee hearing going on right now, a House committee, again, another one tomorrow, another one on Wednesday with a vote potentially next week. The first hearing on the Senate side of things is scheduled at this point for Wednesday, so you can expect this will move through quickly, but obviously still a little controversial, a lot of debate here on exactly how it should be changed. One other note, another issue of contention here that will come up later in the session. They say it is not a high priority, but it will be addressed, and that is the new state seal and flag. A number of Republican lawmakers today wearing pins with the current or original version of the state seal and flag, basically a protest to say that more people weren't involved in the process to decide on the new version. So that will come up, but again, not as high a priority. You'll be hearing about that certainly later on down in the session. Live at the Capitol, Rob Olson, Fox 9.
All right, Rob, thank you.